Welcome back to the channel, lore masters and fantasy enthusiasts. Today, we re-delving deep into the shadowy layers of Pandoria to uncover the lore behind one of its most feared and fascinating rulers, the Goblin King. Forget everything you thought you knew about those small, cackling creatures. We're talking about the great goblins, the colossal tyrants who rule the Krivelin races with an iron and very well-fed fist. So, what exactly is a Goblin King? Picture a creature that makes an orc look small, standing over 8 feet tall and weighing more than 600 pounds. These beings are the largest and most imposing of all Krivelins. They are grotesque, bloated parodies of their Orcish cousins, the Garathians. Their immense bulk makes them slow and sluggish, but don't let that fool you. By their raw strength is legendary, capable of overpowering even the most ferocious berserkers. Their layers of thick fat aren't just for show. They provide a natural resistance to physical attacks, absorbing blows that would fell a lesser creature. But here's the twist. Despite their lazy and gluttonous appearance, Goblin Kings are highly intelligent. They are not just mindless brutes. They are cunning leaders, wielding both power and influence to maintain absolute authority over their broods. Their rule is defined by fear and consumption. A Goblin King consumes the vast majority of his tribe's resources, indulging in endless feasts while his subjects often starve. This isn't just greed. It's a calculated display of power. To be a king is to be well-fed, and to be well-fed is to be impervious. Their leadership is so absolute that all lesser Krivelin, including the powerful ancient-born descents, bow to their will. It's said that only the true ancient-born of old, now long extinct, could have ever challenged their reign. This dominance is even reflected in their innate abilities. A Goblin King can magically dominate any lesser Krivelin, forcing them into obedience with a simple command. They can also project terrifying illusions of themselves, growing even larger and more monstrous to frighten their enemies into submission. Their very presence is so overwhelming that they can intimidate lesser creatures without even trying. When a Goblin King needs to rally his forces, he can issue a royal decree. This powerful command fills his allies with unnatural courage and strength, granting them bonuses to their attacks and defenses, and even imbuing them with temporary vitality drawn from the king's own powerful presence. It's a terrifying sight to behold on the battlefield, turning a disorganized goblin mob into a disciplined and ferocious warband. Now let's talk about the most famous of them all, a name whispered in both fear and awe across Pandoria, the Goblin High King, Jareth Bowie. Jareth is not your typical bloated tyrant. He is a master illusionist, a tactician who subverts all expectations. He appears not as a grotesque monster, but as a charismatic 80s rock star, complete with a signature heterochromatic gaze. He doesn't just rule through brute force. He manipulates reality itself. His magical army of goblin puppeteers and his disorienting illusions make him one of the most unpredictable and dangerous beings on the continent. Jareth has become a cultural icon among the Krivelin, a symbol of a different kind of power one, born from charisma, cunning, and a flair for the dramatic. The culture of the Goblin Kings is centered around their gluttony. Their feast halls are monuments to their greed, adorned with the spoils of war and the bones of their meals. They demand constant tribute, and their subjects live in perpetual fear of displeasing them. Punishment is swift, brutal, and often made into a public spectacle to reinforce the king's authority. This system of fear ensures that their power remains unchallenged from within. Almost every Krivelin brood across the vast continent of Pandoria is ruled by one of these great goblins. Each king maintains a tenuous grip on power, not just through strength, but through cunning political maneuvers. They often form alliances with nearby Orcish Garathians or other chaotic forces, always looking for an opportunity to expand their influence and secure more resources for their ever-growing appetites. This connection to the Garathian orcs is more than just political. They share a close genetic link, which is believed to be the source of their immense size, strength, and natural aptitude for leadership, while they maintain their own distinct societies. A Garathian warlord and a goblin king fighting side by side is a common and terrifying sight in times of war. Historically, the rise of the Goblin Kings is intertwined with the decline of a much older, nobler race. It's believed that as the true ancient-born began to die out, a power vacuum was created. The Goblin Kings, with their brutal leadership and insatiable greed, rose to fill it. Their emergence destabilized the delicate balance of power that the ancient-born had maintained, ushering in a new era of fear and chaos for the Krivelin people. Beyond food and territory, Goblin Kings are obsessive hoarders of magical artifacts and ancient relics. Their intelligence guides them to seek out powerful items, which they use to amplify their already considerable might. It's not uncommon to find relics of the long-lost Ancient-Born in a Goblin King's treasury, twisted and repurposed to solidify their tyrannical control over their brood. These artifacts are symbols of their conquest over the past. Despite their treacherous nature, Goblin Kings are not opposed to making deals. They are known to form strategic alliances with other powerful kingdoms, offering the strength of their brood in exchange for resources, military support, or even more magical treasures. Anyone who allies with a Goblin King knows they are playing a dangerous game, but the rewards can be great. Tapping into the vast, sprawling network of Krivelin society can provide intelligence and access that few other factions can offer. But betraying a Goblin King, that's a mistake you only make once. So, the next time you're crafting a campaign or just imagining the world of Pandoria, remember the great goblins. They are more than just big monsters. They are intelligent, cunning, and politically savvy rulers, masters of fear, and symbols of ultimate consumption. They are the Fat Kings, the undisputed tyrants of the Krivelin, and their shadow stretches far across the land. What do you think of these colossal rulers? Which aspect of the Goblin King lore is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more fantasy lore. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.